We're asked to find sine of A minus B. So there's the difference identity of sine that says if you have an angle x minus an angle y and then you're trying to evaluate sine, that's the same thing as sine of x cosine y, and the order is important there, subtracted by sine of y cosine of x. The orders the orders that they come in. We have to have sine of x cosine y subtracted by sine y cosine x. Okay, so that's basically the formula that we're going to want to use, and except instead of x and y, we just have sine of a cosine b. Sine of b cosine a. We actually know cosine of a. We can plug a number in here. We know cosine of b. We don't know sine of a and sine of b. So all we have to do is draw the triangles where they're supposed to be. Cosine of a equals negative 7 over 25 in quadrant 3. So here is my reference triangle. This is my reference angle. And it says cosine is the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. So the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. So we got 7 here and 25 down here. The 7 has to be the negative one. That way it makes a negative number when they divide. And then we can find the missing side quickly using the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So quickly with a calculator, take a square root. That missing side, if you do the Pythagorean theorem, is 24. And it's got to be negative because we're going down on the y-axis. So now we have enough information to say this is angle A, right? So this is for angle A. Sine of angle A, looking for my reference angle, it's negative 24 divided by 25. It's the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. And then cosine of B, that was something they already gave us. We got sine of B, which we don't know yet, so let's draw the angle B. It says it's in the second quadrant. So here's our reference triangle. That's our reference angle for B. And it says cosine of B is 12 over 13. So the adjacent to this reference angle, 12 over 13, right? This is the opposite side, so that's why 12 has to go here, and this is the hypotenuse. That's why 13 goes here. We're going to label the 12 negative because we're in the negative direction on the x-axis. And if you use a squared plus b squared equals c squared, you should get 5 over here. And it's a positive 5 because we're going up on the y-axis. So now we're ready to say what sine of b is. From the reference angle, sine is the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. So it's the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. And then cosine of a is negative 7 over 25. So just a bunch of fraction work to finish this out, but we're all done after that. 24 times 12 gives us 288. Then we got 25 times 13 in the bottom. That's a bad 8, huh? Never mind, that's a little better. 5 times 7. I'm going to change this to a plus. I'm going to change this to a plus because it's minus and negative here. 7 times 5 makes 35. And that's 325 on bottom. So now we can add the numerators. So it's 323 over 325 for our final answer.